Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fed up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with two rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between two rocks.
Hello, welcome back to Between Two Rocks podcast. I am your host, Josh Levinson. This is episode 26, 25, somewhere around there. I am here with a very special guest today, myself, and my co-host. Introduce yourself, co-host.
Shaina Hotchkiss.
Shaina.
Special, but not as special as Colin.
No.
No.
Colin Ryan's nothing.
He's the specialist.
I am Colin Ryan doing my best Josh Levinson impression. And our guest today is Josh Levinson.
Oh, Woo! Thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah, wow. It's so nice to finally be a guest on here.
Yeah. Josh is sitting here drinking a near beer.
Yeah, Buckler.
It's a Buckler.
It's a Buckler. It's from Holland. It's nice.
Yeah, he brought two.
Yeah.
For himself.
Yep.
And
Didn't
no one
think
else.
about anybody else.
But It's like when you bring something gross that nobody else wants. Why would, wouldn't even think to share
It just looks
I think
nice
it's just
drinking
the
a beer.
thought that counts.
Okay, yeah.
I think just generally.
Well, I ride my bike here, so there's only so many beers I can easily carry.
Mm-hmm.
I hear a lot of excuses.
Well, when you hang out with me, that's what you get. Started young, got good at it. No reason not to go pro.
Keeping it consistent.
Exactly. Gotta stay on brand. So
this is our very special podcast where Josh is the guest. He gets interviewed.
that's right. Part
Yes.
two.
Shaina, part two.
Part two.
Yeah.
Yes, because we did this in February.
Yep.
This one's going to be twice as good as the other one.
Hell
Yes.
yeah. Don't even listen to the other trash one.
No, that's crap. This one doesn't build off of that one. Just ignore that one.
Yeah, I'm totally on the other edge. I think everybody should listen to every podcast that Josh has put out there for us.
Wow.
Wow,
So
there's
on
many
the
good podcasts
on the
out
other
there,
way.
though.
Yeah.
Planet Money, they're fantastic. I mean,
Okay, but I'm like the second best podcast after Planet Money.
I think for a local fun New Haven podcast, yeah, you're number one.
Hell yeah, take that.
Yep.
One
Number
podcast
one.
that advertises on here.
Oh yeah. I was going to touch on the advertisements that really come plugging in here. Have you ever heard them, Josh?
Oh, yeah,
It's
I
very
did, yeah.
interesting. Okay.
what was it? Penis pills?
No, that would be
Awesome.
I think
No, some ladies and their gab. I forget exactly, but yeah.
Oh, another podcast, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely they're doing something a little different, I would say. Yeah.
very different than this.
Yeah. I don't think that they would have the same level of energy that we do.
What is it? I want to know now. I didn't hear it.
I don't even know how to describe it.
I think it's like female based. It's like a female
Yeah, I don't know.
podcast,
What's
to
it
my
called?
knowledge,
I don't even
but
fucking remember.
Are you just
Gab.
going to keep
Something-
saying women and female?
something
and
gab.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gab gals.
Is that right?
Sure. Just made that up.
I mean, it almost sounded right.
Eamon, where's the whiteboard? We need some answers. Okay, anyway.
All right. So Josh is always up graciously for other co-hosts and people to be on his podcast, which I love, and I love being here. So I told him a couple weeks back, I was like, I think we need a part 2 on finding out who you are exactly. And a lot has changed in your life. I mean, we did this in February, and now here we are at the end of the year.
That's right.
Yeah, he's really spiraling down the toilet bowl in those past 6 months.
Has it been a spiral down? I think it's
I would say
think
it
it's
was
going up.
2/3 spiral down, but recently spiraling back up again. So
Okay.
that's good.
All right.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I'm sure many of you did not listen to the prior podcast because that just seems to be the theme of this show, that nobody listens.
I actually met 2 people at the comedy show last night who were like, "Oh, I listened to the podcast," and I just had to pretend like that was a totally normal thing that people do. Like, yeah, dozens of people do.
Please, no more autographs today.
That's awesome.
I hope they had a good time with the show.
That's
I
cool.
think everybody had fun. So yeah.
So just a little recap for those that didn't listen, because I know you didn't. A couple of things that we learned about you, Josh, that you obviously don't know, that I'll repeat. You're afraid of heights.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't eat meat. or drink alcohol, mostly,
Yep.
except for like fish, but like generally no red meat.
Yep.
Right?
Definitely not. Yeah. Try not to eat any meat.
I wrote, this is my own note, you are a complete nerd with a smiley face.
I did play a lot. I did play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons today. So.
Yeah. You don't have any pet peeves. However, I then,
Slow
as I
walkers.
listened to the whole thing, the slow walkers is
That's
a
right.
big pet peeve. People that are walking in front of you that aren't doing
Especially
their job.
if they're like
walking
5
correctly.
abreast. Get out of the way. Come on. What are you? What are you? The Goonies? Get out of here.
Do the Goonies walk abreast?
No. Who?
No, barely.
So the Stand By Me kids. Those
Yeah, walking down those train tracks. Come on, kids.
leave some room for the trains, kids. God.
She's all gotten plowed by a train at the end of it.
That's my main problem with that film is there's just lack of belief. Just people walking side by side is crazy.
Well, it is called Stand By Me, so whatever.
It's a little too on brand, isn't it? Gosh.
Okay, so you worked at Yale. We'll touch on this a little bit because you have since switched jobs. So
That's right.
I'm curious to find out what made
Brought
that
that
happen
on.
and whatever. Yeah. I also know that you love cats and you love seafood. I
Yep.
also thought they went together hand in hand.
Yeah.
Turns out that's just a
Unrelated
state of
qualities,
opinion. Yeah.
It's just me and my cat both independently love seafood.
Yeah.
Like we just happen to
Right.
share those values.
Right.
and
Which
lying
probably
around.
makes you a great team.
Yeah.
And then I think the other thing, which was the very last of the episode, was the 3-year-old best friend that you saw getting hit by a car, which
I don't
you don't
think
remember,
I saw
but
it. I think you just
Right.
Pushed
happened.
him.
right, yeah. Which there was some a little bit questionable stuff whether you were involved or not. We're thinking
I don't
no.
think I was
He was
involved,
walking 3 abreast with 2 other kids.
Sorry. Took 2 of them out. I have survivor's guilt.
I mean, those are your formative years. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? That
No,
could
that
have
is true.
that could have been the trauma of your whole life.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of your personality
that you don't
develops in the
even
first 3
realize.
years. Yeah.
Right, that
It's
happened.
like, damn, your best friend's just gone. So that's why I moved to a new town. We're going to Coventry. Let's
Yeah.
get out of here.
Right, get out of this.
Woodstock.
Yeah,
Death.
3-year-old killer town.
See, that's in some way my parents are smarter than Winona Ryder in Stranger Things because like once a kid gets killed, my parents left. You know.
Absolutely. That's a rolls throughout the whole thing. You're like, why don't you just leave?
Yeah,
Come
like after
on.
2 hauntings, just get out of town.
Yeah.
Is this like a
Too
spoiler alert
many.
for people that haven't seen
No,
what
I
you're
think it's
talking
fine.
about?
Yeah, I was just saying, like spooky things happen.
Yeah.
After like a couple spooky things, you should just move. You know what I mean? Like
Stranger
you
Things
can
is
only.
not a very popular show. It's not a big deal.
I mean, it was. I feel like it's not
It
anymore.
is. I mean, whatever. Either way.
Wasn't
So,
that 2 years? Was that 2 years ago that it came out? 3
a new
years ago?
season came out this year, I believe.
Oh.
Earlier in the year, randomly came out like spring.
Yeah, most popular show on TV. No big deal.
No big deal. Everybody that listens to this, you'll have the spoiler alerts.
But yeah, I do wonder sometimes like how those things affect us. You know, like suddenly just having a friend. Like you don't understand death yet. You know what I mean? But
Right.
Who knows? So no. I don't remember, so it's fine, I guess. Nothing to be done about that one. You know?
Is that fine? Yeah,
I don't
something
know.
like that. And then a couple other things just to note. We still didn't really seal in your spirit animal,
Right. Yep.
which I want to get to.
Okay.
And we also, you never did tell me a secret. So
Just any secret?
yeah.
Oh
let's
boy.
just
A
figure it
secret
out
that
today. Let's tease them out.
So let's start at the top. I'd like
Okay.
to know what happened with Yale, why you don't like it anymore, and why you decided to switch gears.
Okay. Sweet. I can finally tell Yale to fuck off. Yeah. Yale's a perfectly fine place to work. It's a good place to get hired and just stay there indefinitely and don't worry. I don't know. It's just it wasn't a good spot for me in terms of like growing and learning and becoming a better software developer. I felt that they don't have the sort of culture of like getting better. They just sort of like it's fine, you know what I mean? And because it's such a sort of like chill place. Like nobody, you basically can't get fired, right? So basically, there are some people who are just figuring out ways to create busy work. I feel like, or they just get so like caught up in this like bureaucratic bullshit. You know, like there are people who basically spend all their time going to meetings and like serving on committees and being like, oh, we're on this working group committee and we're going to come up with new standards. And it's like 2 years later and they're basically like, all right, we're going to use SharePoint. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, what? I don't understand. There's no way it should have taken this long.
What are their names?
Yeah,
The names of the
people. And what's SharePoint? For those that don't know, is that just a software?
It's a like sharing, it's like a work place where you put documentation and stuff like that. So
Shayna's never had a computer, I should point out.
yeah, that's
I
true.
definitely have a computer,
She sent
state of
me
the art.
photos of these handwritten questions earlier today.
When I am working in my creative process, it is all handwritten because I feel it and I can it's just way more real instead of me typing on a computer.
I bring a notebook to comedy stuff. I would honestly rather
I actually
write on a
have one of your
laptop,
notebooks. Isn't that funny?
No, really?
Yeah, one of the.
I think I left it at like a
from
Halloween
7
party.
years ago.
Oh my God.
Yeah, one of the Halloween preps,
God,
and
this
I
joke's
have one of
gotta
your
be
notebooks.
Terrible.
I don't think there's much in it, honestly.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
it was like one of the starter notebooks, so it didn't have much.
Oh,
but yeah, it has the old name on the front, Josh Levinson, the full thing. In case you find this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I just think
I'm not returning it ever. Yeah. And I did, and I kept it. I was like, oh, I know exactly who this is. Isn't that interesting?
I know, this is the first time hearing of this. Yeah, years
I
later.
still have. There's nothing in it.
Yeah.
There's no content.
First
So
page
to
just
me,
had
it's
a
like
million hearts with girls' names in the.
Cool.
I
whole
wish that'd
thing.
be some fun. No, there was
Yeah.
nothing fun in it. I was like, you're never getting this
I think I'm
back.
pretty transparent. I think people know who I like.
Note to self, everybody: if you have notebooks and you're losing them, make them worth it so that we actually want to return it to you instead of this
Fair.
just nothing.
All right, gosh.
So where are you now? What are you doing instead of at Yale?
I work for this company called Continuity, which makes extremely boring software regulating small banks and stuff. But I basically work from home, so I get to work in my pajamas every day. It's pretty nice.
Was that more the reason why you wanted to not be working at Yale anymore?
No,
Because they require you to put on pants.
I mean, that is a bit of a problem. They wouldn't let me wear shorts, which I was like, I'm a programmer.
Really?
Yeah, they're like, well, we
What
do
kind of
business
shorts?
casual.
Jeez.
Just I don't even just
when the
regular
weather's hot,
shorts.
regular old khaki shorts.
Yeah, khaki shorts. I'm not gonna just I won't wear jorts. That's fine.
Yeah.
I will wear cutoff jorts if you let me, but
Show off your sneaker game.
Boy.
but I just didn't like that whole culture where it's like, well, we're Yale. It's like, dude, shut up. You're not Yale. We're a bunch of people work here. We didn't go here, so I don't know.
Do people say that a lot? Well, we're Yale.
No, but I think it's implied. You know what I mean? There's just like, well, we're professional, such and such. I don't know. It's like a super.
Is this referring to my George shorts?
It's like a super old institution, so they're just not they don't like to change, and so they're not up on the technology stuff. There's some people doing cool stuff, but I'd say there are far more people who have no idea what they're doing. So
And wearing shorts means that you have a better idea of what technological stuff
it just
you need.
makes the bike
what's
ride to
deal?
work more pleasant. It's just a
Just
perk.
wear shorts there and change.
Oh my god, I'm not doing that.
No. There's a
Sorry.
big culture in tech to
Sorry.
just be relaxed.
Exactly. I'm a programmer. I'm not going to talk to customers. I'm not lecturing students. It's fine.
Yeah.
Why can't I dress like the students?
Do you wear pants at home?
I don't wear anything
Like
at
PJ
home.
pants?
Yeah, no, I wear PJ pants and a hoodie.
Okay.
So yeah, it's great.
So you've gone from getting dressed every morning
Yep.
to not having to at all.
No,
like
I
all
roll
day.
out of bed. Yeah, I roll out of bed. I have coffee already made when I
This
get
is
out.
exciting because we did talk about your typical day, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of routine stuff, and now I
Yeah.
feel like it's
Now I
routine,
crawl
but
out of
very
bed.
very casual routine now.
And I pour a cup of coffee and I sit at my desk and I browse Reddit for 20 minutes. Then I'm like, nah, probably write some code now. And then And then I
Okay.
just sit at my desk all day and I work.
16 hours later, I roll back into bed.
I do eventually switch over to video games at the end of the workday. So, but no, one thing I have made sure is since I work from home now is to definitely be more social. You know what I mean? I need to make sure that I'm going to parties.
well, otherwise
and
you're
seeing
just going to
people.
stay home 3 hours a
Exactly.
day,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's just.
So when Colin was like, "Oh, you want to go bowling?" And I was like, I should probably go out. Yeah, that makes sense. It's good
Yeah.
to see other humans.
Yeah.
It's true. It is more important.
Yeah, so I think I'm doing a pretty good job, and that's we'll see.
People
Yeah.
go to work at coffee shops not because it's easier to work at a coffee shop. It's not. It's
No,
easier
it's
to work
just
at home.
social.
You just need to
Right.
speak.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Be around other humans.
Right. Even if it is just as simple as saying hi to your barista and how are you doing and what's up
Yeah.
and getting that 5-minute little chit chat.
That little chit chat's keeping us alive out there, baristas.
It is 100%. 100%. As a personal
crushing
barista
your
myself,
soul.
it is 100% keeping people alive. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, no, so it's good. And I went to the co-working space this Friday in District, and that was pretty sweet. That new Drive at District.
Drive.
Hey, Drive, if you want to sponsor us, we are looking for people. So, that was pretty cool. So, yeah, then we go in the office once a week because there is an office in New Haven.
And
You
how
think
did
they're
you
going to take the
how
Gab Gal spot?
Hopefully.
Gab Gals. That is a good name. How did you find out about Continuity? Continuity? Is that the
It was
name of
actually
it?
through New Haven IO Slack channel. This dude was basically I always ask questions in the channel how do I do this? How do I do this? And he's like, hey, we're looking for somebody. And I already know exactly how bad a programmer you are because of the questions you ask. So it was
like
crazy.
myself. I'm like, what's a Slack channel?
Yeah.
What is that?
This is just a messaging app.
Oh.
It's almost like a chat room, basically. We've gone back to chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty awesome. Now that we have gifts, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just like, but it's very tech oriented. So we like ask programming questions and stuff to each other. And so because I was semi-active, he's like, I knew he had a position open and I was kind of like maybe ready to leave Yale, you know? And so I talked to the phone for like a half hour and he's like, all right, cool. So like, I'll just send an offer letter over. And I was like, oh, are we okay? Should we not do an interview? He's like, oh.
Sweet.
He's like, I know who you are. It's fine. I was like, oh,
what about negotiations? Was there any like you can negotiate anything, or what they sent you? You're just like, fine, that's great, awesome.
He did hold a lot of my family hostage, I will say, but unfortunately for him,
like a lot of them. I feel like you only have like a few family members.
Yeah, well, 3 or 4.
The value is next to nothing.
Exactly. It's just that he underestimated my care of the situation, or overestimated. So I was just like, kill them. And he's like, fine. So we just agreed on the base salary. It's fine.
So we're not going to go any higher because I have your family.
I'll only take the position if you free me from this burden. Yeah, no, it was fine.
You ever on Discord? Do you go on there when you're playing your games?
I Discorded a little bit when I was playing WoW again, but yeah, not too much. It's for hardcore gaming.
Is WoW World of Warcraft?
Yep. But I stopped playing because of Hong Kong. Free Hong Kong.
Really?
Yeah.
What's the association?
So basically they had there was a professional Hearthstone player and he won this tournament. He's from Hong Kong and he's basically like, they're like, oh, when you win a big tournament, they're like, oh, do you have anything you want to say? And he's like, free Hong Kong, like China stop or whatever. And they basically banned him and like took his money because like Blizzard makes a ton of money in China. And I was like, all right, you know, it's one thing to like mine precious metals in China or whatever, but it's a whole other thing to like silence non-Chinese citizens to like get more Chinese money. I was like, I feel gross about this whole, so I uninstalled that shit and I unsubscribed and I was like, free Hong Kong. So
nice.
Wow.
Took a stand.
That's great.
Good for you.
Thanks.
Stand for something.
Like, I was going to say.
Yeah. I don't physically stand for anything.
Definitely not for getting dressed every day.
I just want to know this whole story happened while I was in my pajamas.
I was just tired of this game anyway.
Free Hong Kong.
I was actually
and
really
free
enjoying myself.
Free the khaki pants.
I was pretty bummed out, honestly, because it was getting me through my breakup pretty good. So,
wow.
Yeah. After that, I was like, yikes, I got to confront my emotions.
Yeah, so in February, you were in some like lovey-dovey relationship, and then what happened?
Screwed that one up.
Come on.
Did you screw it up? I don't know if it's solely your fault.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just, God, I don't want to blow up other people's spots. I don't think she listens to this. She might, though. Who knows?
Don't say names. Just be very.
She doesn't. But she is in the lobby.
Oh, and she's here.
Oh my God, my heart would fucking.
Our next guest.
Yikes!
I don't even know her name, but the point is.
Yeah,
I'm choosing not to say it.
It just failed. It just failed out.
Well, we'll
just go that way.
She was experiencing a lot of depression and anxiety, and she was not getting the help that she needed. And I had many conversations with her that like it's okay to be depressed and it's okay to be anxious. And these are normal human emotions, but that you need to be in treatment or something.
Right. It is not okay to try to handle it yourself.
Exactly. And you're not. And she apparently went off her medication a couple times without telling anybody and then just gets like really despondent. And I'm like pretty fair about that stuff. Like I'm not judgmental, but it just was like, it got to be to the point where it was like, I was always dealing with it. And it was always emotionally draining and always difficult. And it was just like hard because I have my own stuff. So I can't like... I need like somebody at least who's trying and like trying to get better.
Right.
Like that's really the hugest first step, you know?
Right.
So I tried my best, but unfortunately, you know, you can love people even if they're not good for you.
Oh, that's real.
And so it was just like, you know, even now, you know, I'm just like, boy, I miss her, you know, even if like it was difficult a lot, you know.
Yeah,
it's still like you love who you love, and so it doesn't just go away because like your brain is like, yeah, this is the reasonable thing to move forward from. I'm just gonna go live my life.
Well, because it's not just your brain. Yeah, your brain, your heart, and then of course your penis, which no one likes to talk about as its own thing. Oh, please.
She was pretty cute.
Are you like a clean breakup type? Like where you break up and that's it? You don't talk.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll talk, but like you don't hook up with your ex for a long time.
Who are those people?
Yeah. Those are people who get back together with their exes. Yeah. So
I feel like there are a lot of people that get back together with their exes, like even if they break up.
Oh yeah.
I thought I didn't know if he was
break people.
Me.
Oh, I'm totally a clean break person.
Really?
Oh yeah. Once I'm done with you, once I'm done with you,
don't
like.
Talk.
Oh no, well we might talk, but it's not romantic talk, and it's more of just me being like,
polite.
You've already like you've already been past this. Like now now there's no turning back.
This is just pure business.
Yep. It's or me just being nice or trying to like have them understand even more so like what the deal is. But yeah, no, I'm a clean break person.
Yeah. I just
even
had
with
to
like
it.
old bosses, even with people that just don't do it so
old
well in my
podcast
mind.
Guests, hosts, just clean break, never speak again.
No, it's not about
Sometimes
never
I see
speaking
Margot,
again.
and I'm like, don't talk to me. You were already on the podcast.
Oh no.
We've extracted your value. No more.
No, not like that. But okay.
Yeah. So it was
all
hard.
right.
Yeah.
So this goes into my other couple of questions because now that you're single, are you online to find?
I'm actually not online for like the first time in a very long time.
Like since you broke up, you're not online, and you've always done online. Or?
Yeah, I've always done online, and I was back online, and then I dislike it. I've decided it's not.
Why do you dislike it?
For me, it like gamifies dating too much. Like it's too many options. Too like it like Tinder and Bumble. Like they encourage you to keep swiping, to keep looking, and then it gets me into this place where I'm basically like, yeah, this was a pretty nice date, but what about this girl? And what about this girl? And I just like I feel like it turns me into this person that I don't like.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like ready to move on to the next thing, and it's all kind of like doesn't matter to me.
And like grass is greener on the other side. Type
Yeah,
of shit.
exactly. Like there's just always a different, better option, and it's just I don't know. The whole thing makes me feel shitty.
Yeah,
Maybe
I've
like,
never done online dating, but in real life, like you have to put work in because you're like, there might not be another person. Like this is hard.
Yeah.
This might be the last person I meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
especially if there's any sort of connection there.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're actually meeting someone face to face, and you get even like a 5-second good feels from someone, you're like, oh shit, like okay, cool, I want to keep this going. Like,
Absolutely.
how do I keep this
Yeah,
going?
you put work in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and Colin has always been on that side where he's like, why don't you just do it? But Colin's a very charismatic guy and like very confident. And so like, I'm like, oh, sure. It's easy for you. Like, it's just, I don't know. You have whatever. And so I can be charismatic, but it's like, I feel more awkward mostly inside. And so it's just like, I'm in my own head most of the time. So,
yeah.
But I've actually met some people in real life recently. And like, I think comedy's made me way more confident. So I think that has actually like helped a lot in terms of I feel like people like sense that and they're like, oh, this guy like knows who he is. You know what I mean? Like for better or worse, like, you know, he's owning his shit. So he's a huge nerd, but he fucking knows. So it's
huge nerd. I have
do you get groupies at your
nerd.
your comedy shows?
I wouldn't say groupies now, but there are people who respect, you know, they're like, you're so
I would
brave.
totally consider myself a groupie. Like for real. I'm not, I mean, we've never hooked up. There's never been anything like that, but I'm like a big Josh Levinson fan.
Aw.
No, really. True. I feel like you are very funny. I feel like you do know yourself, even though it might be like super insecure and scared and stressed at times, but like you're just also just very real and like very humble and just, you know what's up.
Well, we're all fans. I was thinking, is anyone sexually attracted to you because you're up there on stage?
Yeah, I can't talk to that. And I'm out. No.
Yeah, no, there have been a couple.
Broke her mic.
Yeah, sorry. I just pushed that all the way to the left.
I've definitely had somebody say the words to me, I did want to sleep with you before I saw you do comedy, so I guess.
Really?
Oh, that should be an opener.
Absolutely.
That should be your new opener.
Did or didn't?
I did not want to, which is like a funny backhanded compliment where basically she's like,
wait. She wanted to until she saw your stand-up.
She didn't want to.
And then she
did.
Oh, that's a plus.
It is, but it's also
like at first sight, there was nothing.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Then I saw you speak. Yeah, there was a grain of something.
Then I thought you were really funny.
I felt you go from a 5.5 to a 6.3.
6.2 is my cutoff, so let's do this.
You talk to yourself, get to the high sixes.
It's still positive here, people. We shouldn't knock it. It's still a win.
No, absolutely. I'll take it. As somebody who spent quite a bit of their 20s overweight, to be even in the sixes is very heady stuff.
So did you guys then sleep together?
Probably. I don't remember this particular case. Yeah.
Lies.
Is this a real story?
Lies. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I have slept with some people who like my comedy, yes.
Yeah? Nice.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Why not? I'm
As you
single
should.
most of my life. Might as well.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know, if I am going to sleep with somebody, I'm usually pretty forthright about like my interest level. I might be like, okay, you seem cool, but I'm not like that romantically into this situation. Or I'll just, you know, if I am, I'll say so. So You know, but obviously my relationships have been.
You say that before you have sex with them?
Are you the type?
Really?
Yeah.
Are you the type that also doesn't have sex for a certain amount of time if you've gotten to know somebody, or are you just like, we'll just fuck first and then figure out the rest?
No, I usually like try to say something. Just especially like I find, at least for myself, I enjoy sex more if I like feel comfortable with somebody and I know them, like, and I have like some base trust.
Yeah.
So I just find it's easier. It tends to be slower. I mean, I have slept with people, I guess, quickly-ish, but
Right.
I would say I tend to be a bit slower. You know, I'm not one of these young millennials. He wants us to take a break soon.
Oh,
no, he's
should
not. He's just shaking his head. Maybe he was just really intrigued by
Josh,
my
are you
sexual...
leaving? Are you leading this interview, or what's the deal?
Were
'Cause
you
you're,
trying to
I
take a
think we
break
should-
right at
yeah,
that moment?
I think we should. Yeah, I think leave it to the experts.
This
Okay.
is getting too intimate.
My God.
I do try to be private on my sex life, but I guess it came up, so...
All right. Well, the sex life wasn't even really what I like wrote all these notes about. It's really mostly about your comedy. So let's go into that a little bit.
Sure.
Who are your comedy inspirations? Like, who do you find is really funny? Whether they're local, whether it's like, more popular, like a Dave Chappelle or someone that's like really done it well,
old Dave
professional.
Chappelle was amazing. His new old, like, whoa,
Current
trans
stuff.
people. I'm like, oh, gross. Stop getting into that. But old Dave Chappelle, Killing Him Softly is like one of the greatest specials ever made.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Mitch Hedberg fan. You know, when he was alive, he was amazing. His sort of like deadpan one-liners are fucking awesome.
I love that stuff.
You know, and like Stephen Wright, all that really dry humor I always enjoyed. Nowadays, like, I really love, like, Michelle Wolf is super funny. I like her. Even like she's a little political, but I think she's hilarious. And Nate Bargatze is great. He's like a newer-ish
Are these
comic.
all professional comedians
Yeah.
that are all over the United States or maybe the world?
Yeah, locally.
And, local. I'd like to know some locals that you...
I mean, locally, people I met who I thought, like Brian Barganier, who's actually a comic I'm having, like, do a show this Thursday. I don't know when this comes out. It depends, But Thursday the 12th, if you're around, $10, Regal Beagle, 8 p.m. But Brian Barganier is, like, super funny. He has this great joke where he's like, because he toured all these like redneck states, like he basically did his own tours, and he did all over like not even Midwest, like the South kind of. Mm-hmm. And he was in like West Virginia or somewhere, and he found out that there was a law that if your like pet tiger escaped, you have to call animal control within 45 minutes. And he was like, so he does these things where he's like, my pet tiger escaped, I don't know, like 39 minutes ago. Which is such a good joke, because it's like, you kind of know where he's going with it, but it's just such a good delivery and like such a funny, like, puts you in that moment of like, why would you why would you wait? Like it should be immediate, but it's like,
because you were looking for him for the first 30 minutes or so.
It's such
like, all right, now I gotta call it. I actually can't find my tiger. This is bad.
So he's hilarious. This comic Dan Coway is super funny. He does a lot of local stuff, and just like his stuff is like, his timing is so great. Where just like, even if a joke doesn't land, he's having so much fun and giggling that I just like, I think it's
you
great.
Like, can't help but laugh.
Exactly. Like you're rooting for him even if it's too weird, and you're just like,
he'll take aggressively long pauses.
Yeah,
I love that.
Painfully
like
long.
awkward long. I love that.
Stretch it out. But it's like, it's so fascinating. You can learn so much from that and be like, wow, I can be patient with this. Like, not everything has to crush. I could have fun anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. Sean Murray, he's been a co-host here. He's super funny.
Sean Murray. Okay, I think I know him too.
Remember the first time I saw him? The first time I ever did comedy, he did a set at the open mic in Joker's Wild, and he had this joke about like how like people like fight back against cancer, and he's like, not me. If I got cancer, it would just ravage me. Like, I would lose that fight immediately. And I was just like, I like this kid.
Here I am. Just take me. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a funny set. He was just far and away the best person there.
Yeah.
He did one there where he's like, a good way to give someone AIDS would be in a Gushers. What does that mean?
Bring back your Gushers AIDS joke.
Yeah, that's what started it all.
Come on.
That's hilarious. Was he the co-host for Lee Cruz?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I did hear that. That was very funny.
Nice.
I don't think Lee knew why it was funny at all, but the rest of us knew why it was funny. These two are like high as hell.
I don't think Sean smokes. Anyway, we should take a break though. I know it's not my place.
Let's take a break. Eamon's telling the real host and co-host, not Josh, that we should take a break. So we'll be back in a few seconds.
Greetings, and this is Wine Time with Grown Ass Woman, an intergenerational conversation with Ife Michelle. I'm Sexy.
And Sharon Leanne. You make me want to add a name. Make sure you hit us up. We want to hear from you. Again, our email is
gawomenspeak@gmail.com.
Okay, we're back.
I would listen to Gab
I just
Gals.
did a
They sound
couple.
great.
I just did a couple spins in the chair.
You heard from the Gab
Yeah,
Gals.
heard from the Gab Gals.
Boy, we really got to figure out what the name of that podcast is.
Oh my God.
Our
I'm sure we
peers.
could have actually taken this break to do that research, but instead we're just spinning in chairs.
Sorry, we're the flagship podcast. I don't know what to tell you. Gab Gals. Get the shit out
Okay,
of here.
so the holidays are coming up. I don't know
Sure
if that's
are.
exciting for you.
Yeah, I actually decorated my tree yesterday.
Nice.
Oh,
Do you have a
that's
real tree?
nice.
I do not have a real tree, but I have a nice fake tree.
Okay.
What makes
So-
it nice?
It's like 6 feet tall and like, it's just like pretty high quality. Like
What's the quality of the needles? Do they feel good?
I would say B+ needles. I
Nice.
don't know. No, they're good.
Mm.
A lot of it is like when you take it out of the box, it's just bending it back into shape and like getting the coverage, not having big
Yeah,
holes.
the reform. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and which takes a while. So actually, Jeremy Reynolds came over
Oh, that's
and
nice.
he helped me decorate because he actually lost his mother a few years ago. So he
Okay.
doesn't really have like a Christmas tradition anymore. And so
Mm-hmm.
I actually only started like when my mom passed away like 6 years ago, and Christmas was like her deal, right? So I think the first few years was like a huge bummer, and I was just like, I didn't do anything. And then I got like a little 4-foot Christmas tree, and I was like, I'm sort of celebrating. And then I think like last year or the year before, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a bigger one, and I'm gonna
Well, you
host.
have the
I got
house.
a house. I got a house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes it. It's.
And it like it makes me feel good. And like
Right.
I actually have like a lot of the family ornaments that like, like there's one from like baby is grandma's favorite thing from 1980 or something. Like that's pretty
Nice.
adorable.
Yeah,
Like,
that's totally.
you know,
cute.
that shit has existed as long as me. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So that's pretty, and it
And
makes
you
me
have
feel
it,
connected. Yeah,
which is
I
cool
have
too.
it. Yeah, I got the one where
You
it's
don't have to
basically
fight a
like-
family member for it.
No, exactly. I think we basically all got our own though. So I
Divvied it
give
up.
them. Yeah,
Oh,
we
that's
divvied them
nice.
up. So and I have most of the regular family ornaments.
Mhm.
So there was one from like where it's like Christmas in New York City 2010, and that one like breaks my heart because that was like my mom's
last.
like it was like the last, but it was definitely like one of the last.
Right.
And like a newer ornament of them being so happy in New York and like Christmas in New York and how romantic, and I'm like, ugh, heartbreaking, but
Yeah.
also nice.
But sweet. I mean, at least they
Yeah.
had that.
Sweet and sad.
Right.
So I listen to
Right.
Christmas music. I do the whole thing. Like it that makes me feel lame, but I'm into it. So
What? Why?
just because it's bad music
'Cause
for
it's
one.
lame.
Yeah.
Oh,
just
well,
like-
pick better music.
I mean, I don't think there's any good Christmas music.
Yeah.
First of
Shelly
all,
puts it on. It is great, actually. It's nice.
there is
Yeah.
We got a
great
tree this
Christmas
year, and it was-
music.
Yeah, we
Same
got a
thing.
family, and so I think once you have the baby, you're like, bam,
Exactly.
Christmas is on again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had the same thoughts. I used to pick out a tree with my mom, and this is the first time that we got a tree.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Did it feel cathartic? Like,
it felt great.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Because that was like our thing, me and her, that we'd go pick
Yeah.
out a tree, and I haven't
Nice.
done that in years. you
Yeah.
know? So it was cool.
Yeah.
It was good.
Nice.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay, so with the holidays coming up,
Mhm.
and sort of past holidays,
Mhm.
what is the best gift you've ever given somebody?
Given somebody.
Yes.
Shit. My family was like weird about, like, we were very.
It doesn't have to be your family; it could be anybody. But the best gifts that you think you've given somebody for Christmas.
He's never
For
given a
Christmas.
gift before. Just let him talk.
Oh, shit, is that where we're going? Oh man.
I mean, my family was very mechanical about gifts. Like, we had listed everything. It was pretty,
Josh showed
By
me
the
an email
numbers.
from his dad the other day that
Oh my
was signed
God.
at the bottom, Dad, period.
No, I actually did it
Like on purpose?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That just might be his sign off. I don't know.
It's not. Oh, my God. I got to find this email because I read it on stage last night and it crushed.
Mom died, Dad, period.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
Okay.
God,
that
I would
was
hope
maybe
that.
a little.
All right. Well,
much.
while you pull that up, what is the best gift you've received from somebody?
Okay, here it is. Well, subject is Christmas. It's from my dad to me, my brother, and sister. Well, everyone seems to be ignoring Christmas this year! Exclamation point. What are we doing? Question mark. Does anyone want gifts or anything? Dad. Period. Which is just, I feel it says a lot about my family. Note, by the way, this was sent yesterday midday. No one has responded yet.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Respond right now. Break,
Your poor
break through.
dad.
Break the
I've been
silence.
busy. I will. I will when I get home. I will. I've just been very busy playing Dungeons and Dragons and such.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
sure. You mean denial. You've been very busy ignoring
I've been busy.
it.
No, I have been busy.
I've been in my PJs all day.
I've been playing D&D,
Yeah.
thinking about my gifts that I'm going to write in some sort of like list form to you, Dad.
I did get an ex-girlfriend. She used to love to travel, and I got her like a really fancy like ornament that had like a airplane going around a globe. You know what I mean? So that was like and she really was into like Christmas ornaments, so it was like doubly thoughtful.
That's cute.
So I thought she was really touched by that.
Okay.
You know?
She didn't tell you she was, or you're just assuming, or what happened with that relationship?
She said she
Put
was.
him on the spot.
She's like, oh, this is so cute, and we're done.
She called my
You seem
sister's
needy.
She called my sister's dog ugly, and we got into a huge fight about it, and then we broke up.
For real?
Oh yeah.
That's real?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's not even the craziest breakup story. I'm sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How long
I
were you
broke up with a
dating?
girl in Puerto Rico once. So like, yeah. That's not even close to the worst. No, because my sister has this dog that's a mutt, and she was like, "Oh, it's an ugly little dog." I'm like, "Excuse, why would you say that about a dog?" You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, some dogs
That's a
are
pretty
ugly,
common
though.
comment.
But,
Yeah,
like,
I was like,
yeah,
some
but it's
dogs
just-
are pretty ugly.
but like, why? I don't know. Keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? There's really no need to go on it. Anyway, we got into a big fight. It was fine. We were drunk.
Sounds like a pretty stupid fight.
It was a pretty stupid fight, as they are. She
Yeah.
had some anger issues that were not getting addressed as well. Oh, she's in therapy,
So she broke up with you because of that fight, or
sort of
you broke
mutually
up with
broke up.
her?
We mutually. She was just like, "I'm not happy in this relationship," and I was like, "Ditto." I didn't say that exactly, but pretty close.
Pretty close.
It was very abrupt.
Do you mostly break up, get broken up, mutual? What's your breakdown of your breakups?
Yeah, that's a good question.
That is a good question. I would say I start most breakups, and then some of them are mutual.
I like the idea that you start them, but they're
Right, he's like the one that's starting all the
I kick it
fights like
off.
months before. Right, months or weeks or days. Right, and Josh is like
you
actually
do have to preheat
the
the oven
impetus of this. Like he's the one that's
I
like, you
just
know
make
what?
it miserable enough that you
Right,
know,
yeah.
In my 20s, that was my plan, yeah. But no. I usually initiate breakups, but I feel like that's...
Maybe if I never put the seat down for the next week and a half, she's somehow going to bring it up, and I'm going to get mad at her because she's mad at me, and then we'll see if she
I
wants
don't
to
have
break
that
up with
kind of
me or if
foresight,
I'm going to
yeah.
break up with her.
Are you a big seat down anger person?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean,
Does that
honestly,
get to you, leaving the seat up?
not at all. Here's what gets to me. I don't like unnecessary wetness. So if you leave piss all over the seat, whether it's up or down, I'm going to get pissed on that. Like, not pun intended. I'm going to get mad because you've put piss all over the seat and I have to wipe the seat. I don't
seems
care if I have
fair,
to
though.
drop the seat down. That doesn't
Yeah,
bother
that's
me
pretty
at
normal.
all.
It's not a big ass.
But if you're putting,
No.
yeah, exactly. Not much.
I'm
but it
housebroken.
happens
Yeah.
more than you'd imagine. So,
Yeah.
and also, as a female walking into a female bathroom, like, first of all, I think sometimes women are more of slobs than men are. So you walk into the female bathroom and it is like, I can't even go up to the counter to look at myself in the mirror or do anything that leans up against it because there is water now everywhere, all over the sink, all over the floor. Like, what are we doing? Are we just washing our hands and like shaking our hands out as if like they're going to get dry in the air and now you've like a dog shaking all your wetness all over everything? Like, hell no. So that drives me more
Things
crazy
that go on in
than
ladies' bathrooms,
Man, I
huh?
opened a can of worms.
So we
Well, you
know what
asked about
Shayna's
the-
pet peeves are.
yeah. Oh, unnecessary wetness is totally one of them. Like, just take a paper towel and wipe it up. It takes
All right.
all of
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah.
Unnecessary wetness.
So that's why I
Terrible.
broke up with her.
Well, it wasn't because of unnecessary wetness, because
No.
unnecessary roughness, as we call that, because she was being
No.
rude about the dog.
Yeah. And other stuff.
Okay, so are you relatively clean at your house? This house that you own that you don't take care of?
I would say no. No, I have a lady who comes once a month and cleans up after me.
Okay, and
I
what
think it's
kind
the
of?
same lady Colin uses.
Verena?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I got to give her a Christmas tip. It's coming up.
How did you do that?
I think so. Yeah. I think it's a good
Everybody
idea.
should do that. Colin,
Yeah.
do you do that?
Now that I know I have to, I might just not hire her for the next month.
Oh my god! Yeah,
she
could you
won't
come
notice.
back? Could you come back in January, like
Then you won't get your
mid-January,
Hershey's Kiss,
maybe?
though.
My God.
Yeah,
She leaves
I
you
would-
Hershey
if
Kisses?
she happened to
Just for that
come, yeah, I'd give her a tip for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Josh, back to the comedy because I
Yep.
think you're funny.
Thank
What
you.
is your favorite joke
Of mine or just ever?
of yours, and then of ever,
Oh man.
or
I
if
don't
that's
know.
easier, maybe the like of all time is better or
Yeah.
easier for you to say.
Oh boy, I don't. There's like so
It's going
many.
to be really
great-
funny when you talk it out.
Like on the spot.
And I'm gonna blow a joke
Oh,
on this
yeah.
podcast. That sucks.
Well, is there a joke that when you get up on stage, like you know every time it's gonna kill it?
Yeah, I have a few jokes that I think. Like, I have a joke about, actually, one joke I do like, just because it's about my life, is like growing up in an interfaith household and how my parents were two different religions. And so, like, how, you know, like, my dad's Jewish, which is how my face looks like this. But, like, we went to, so I pause for a laugh, maybe, if they know what Jews look like.
You got
right?
it.
And then I'm like, but we went to church, like, because my mom was like, let's go to church. And that's weird because they're basically like, just all you have to do is come to church and have faith in Jesus, and you'll get into heaven, and everyone you know will be there except for your dad.
Nice.
Which I love because is hilarious, and also like a hilarious technicality about heaven. So it's just like, because I'm like kind of like, oh, anti-religious. Maybe it'll be anti-religious, but you know, I'm chill about it. I don't care what people do, right? But I just think it's a bit silly. And so for me, it's like, it's just sort of a silly thing. And some people are like, oh, and like, I think that's also hilarious to me because I'm just like, it's your rules. Like, I don't even care about any of this. But the fact that you're like, your dad can't come was like kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, and then I'm like, go on.
Yeah.
So I like that joke because it's like a bit dark, a bit, you know, satirical, and a bit clever, and you know, about my family.
What do you think your comedy wheelhouse is? If someone was like, oh, Josh, he's the something comic.
Yeah, I mean, it's very like dry, sort of like, I don't know, dark-ish,
Yeah, dry and
liberal-ish. Yeah,
The
you know,
D&D,
absurd.
which is not-
Yeah, it's a bit nerdy. Like, I have a joke about how I hired a prostitute to play World of Warcraft with me.
Shut
And I
the
was just
fuck up.
like,
Is that a real story?
No, and I was just like, put your clothes back on.
like, that is
Put your clothes back on. You're a warlock now. Which is a great line. Like, it's just that joke is perfect to me because it's like takes a gross thing and makes it silly.
Yeah.
You know
I love
what I
it.
mean? And it makes
Yeah.
everybody innocent, you know? And I'm like, I'm getting these ladies out of the gutter and into the guild. That's a great tag. Shit, I just wrote a new part of that joke. Out of the gutter and into the guild. Love it.
That is great. That's good.
It's nice, yeah. So,
I thought it was real. I actually could see
No,
you
I
hiring a
just-
prostitute to play games with you.
Jeez, that says a lot about your assessment of Josh.
honestly, it is easier than convincing women you date to play World of Warcraft. 'cause
yeah, you might as well just pay some hot woman to
Why
sit
not?
next to you
Yeah.
and play it instead of forcing a hot woman to play it that's like totally begrudging and like not wanting to do it.
Exactly. Why are you cheating on me? I'm not cheating on you, except in Azeroth. Like, it doesn't really count, you know?
I don't know what any of that means, but I still think it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, as a homeowner, how long have you owned your house now? 3
2 or 3 years?
3
Yeah.
years. Well, let's say 3.
Spring 2017, so coming up on 3.
Okay. What's your best like MacGyver moment where you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you figure you're
Yikes.
gonna Mod Podge it and get it done? What is that?
When you
at
see
your
Josh,
house?
you're like, that guy's like MacGyver.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a little more home ec MacGyver, probably just throwing
All right,
it out.
here's a good one. So there were these squirrels in the walls, right? So there's like this one outside wall, and I guess it's not like sealed because I kept hearing like scurrying around in the wall in the downstairs bath. Only in the winter, and so like in the spring, once it sounded like it was emptied out, I stuffed a bunch of sheets in the top of it, and now the squirrels can't get in there, and the sheet remains to this day, and that's been my permanent
You
solution.
stuffed it in from the outside.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So if there's squirrels in there, they're just dead now. But I think that they came out. Because I waited till spring to and implement this plan. So it seems to work.
Good. Problem
Okay,
solved.
that's
Problem
MacGyver.
solved,
And
yeah.
did you take the sheets off your bed and now you have no sheets on your bed, or
That's
did
right.
you
Yeah.
just?
It's just a soiled mattress sitting in an empty bedroom with one lamp.
Why is the mattress soiled?
I mean, in this scenario, I think it has to be.
Because he's
right?
had it since like 20 years ago.
I get a lot of
Because I had a prostitute over.
Yeah.
Yeah. World of Warcraft.
you know, she cast a spell. I got excited. You understand. You know, I get a lot of night sweats.
I bet you are a night sweater.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
I run hot.
Yeah, it's. I think. Well, okay. Well, we're not going to go into my reasons why that happens. I was going to say because you're anxious. I feel like it's
No,
totally
probably.
combining with.
I
all
have
that.
actually meditated 40 days in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've actually been less anxious recently. I think
That's
it's been
very cool.
Yeah, it's been almost. I hate talking. I mean, I love talking about it, but I feel like such a like new age person. I'm like, meditation will change your life, you know.
Well,
But it really has
meditation or
been.
medication. It's kind of
Yeah,
like
well,
you
fair.
take your choice.
But I really do think for me, it's especially helpful because like the way my brain works, sometimes I have like ruminating thoughts, and so if I can like put myself in a position where I am less attached to whatever thoughts I'm having, where I'm like, well, all right, you feel weird about this, but it's probably fine.
It's
and it will,
okay. Let
Right.
it go.
Exactly. And then like if you get good at letting it go, it doesn't like hit you as hard, and you know, it's all easier to manage, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's actually been great. So I've been feeling pretty good lately.
Do you mean ruminating as in once you think about something, you can't stop thinking about it?
Right.
Like you're
Or I
totally
just
obsessive?
go down. No, not obsessive, but it's just like it sends me down a dark path.
Like, yeah. Like that that one thought will then think
Right.
five other
It gets
thoughts,
negative,
and then that
right.
will go like, yeah.
And it always ends up with me being like, you're not good and people don't like you and you're not fun. And people are just like, they tolerate you because they have to. But like, if you went away, that would be easier for everybody, which I know is bad. But
Okay,
like, that's just depression.
It's just not true. Right.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
It's insecure, but it's not true.
Yeah, no, I know. But that's what depression tells you.
Yeah.
And so that's like,
You talk
know.
a lot about depression. I told you we were going to talk about it, and I'm
Yeah.
going to talk about it briefly, but
Okay.
I do want to say that I don't think a lot of men deal with it. I think a lot of men are like
you
struggling.
mean they have it, but they don't talk about it.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, addressing
I thought
it.
you were
Yeah.
just discounting the whole thing.
Yeah. I
Oh,
don't know.
no.
Bullshit.
No.
Chronic Lyme,
Like
also
totally
bullshit.
Yeah, no, the opposite, complete opposite.
Yeah.
I actually think that you talking about it, even if you're making jokes about it, or
Yeah.
even if you're, taking it to sort of a dark, dry, fun level,
Yeah.
it's still important, and I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of men do.
Okay, yeah.
And
I try
a
to
lot
destigmatize.
of guys
yeah.
don't. I mean, they won't even admit that they're going to go see a therapist if they
Oh,
even
yeah,
ever
no.
see a therapist.
That's gay shit right there. Yeah, go see a therapist. Kiss boys or whatever. No, I know. It's great. I mean, I'm lucky because my dad's a psychologist, so it's like a little destigmatized for me anyway. So I can like I don't know. I don't feel as judgmental about it. It's like it's helped me a lot. So
Yeah.
I think everybody should go to therapy, honestly. Like I think almost everybody could gain some benefit.
Was it because your dad's a psychiatrist? Was it always in your family's like sort of mental health game? I mean, is this like in your
we
health
had no
game?
mental
Like,
health game personally. Yeah,
Okay.
it's like how a lot of doctors smoke cigarettes. Same
Totally.
deal with psychologists. Like, yeah, my dad understands on a clinical level why people do things, but it doesn't affect. Like, he still is an emotionally withdrawn person because of
anything.
his stuff.
That's
yeah.
why he went into it. He's
Right,
like,
exactly.
Why am I like this? Let
Yeah.
me research it.
Yeah,
but he wasn't raising you guys throughout your lives being like, hey, I'm not the professional you should see, but like this is who you should go see, and you should
No.
have therapists since you're
Yeah.
5, or
That
there's
is one
never
of
been like that.
my
Like all of a
more
sudden you're
angry
just
things. Yeah, is
you're
that-
just so woke in your mental health that you know that you should be seeing a therapist, not because your dad's a psychiatrist and he's like, hey, here's what you would actually help you.
Yeah, no. Yeah, my
Like,
dad
that's-
did not provide a lot of guidance to that. I wish
Yeah.
I wish they'd maybe gone to therapy way earlier, but I
Right.
think that they also never really figured out their own shit. So they never,
Right.
were able to get there. And I don't know. I think I don't know why I eventually ended up going to therapy, but I think it's, we eventually got old enough where we
But
had
you're
that
happy you
conversation.
did.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you probably
yeah.
wouldn't change it.
No.
And now, are you doing transcendental meditation? Is that that's like the latest, I thought.
Yeah, no, I just do the mindfulness. I do like Headspace.
Mindfulness. Okay.
So-
Headspace is the
Yep.
app?
Yep.
Or the program?
Yep. But it's just like a guided, like you could do like Insight Timer's free, and I hear Calm is really good. So it's just basically like you go through the motions of basically like you kind of try to notice the room you're in, and then you like kind of check in with your body and see how your body feels. And that kind of gets your brain into like more observing than thinking.
Right.
And then you try to focus on the breath for like 5 minutes or whatever, right? Which is hard, but then like as you have thoughts, you're like, all right, it's just a thought, let it go, back to the breath. And like the more you do that, the better you get at it. And then just you feel better overall. It sounds silly, but it's so
I
effective.
actually, in college, I suffered majorly with anxiety and like dating a guy that just wasn't helping at all with it. But I actually read this book called Retrain Your Brain, and it's all about that.
Oh, really?
And since then, I mean, I go to therapy, but I'm not a meditation person.
Yeah.
I probably do it in my own way, like, whatever, focusing on my breath and this and that. But that is one thing that if I go into the spiral, as they say, the dark spiral,
Yep.
I turn into like the observer rather than the critiquer, someone that's like really going internal. I'm like, oh, wow, how did they make all these plastic flowers? Like, how did they even get that to look like that? Or, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like stupid shit. But all right, well, that's interesting that your dad is a psychiatrist, but he didn't
Psychologist,
actually
just so you know.
psychologist, excuse me.
It's fine. But he deals with like addiction
Either way,
and
Did
stuff.
your dad correct you on that?
he's still a
No, it's just
profession,
like
but
yeah. No, he's in mental health field.
he's still
Yeah.
but he's not really advocating for.
It's not like a medical doctor is all. He just like that's psychiatry is a part of medical. Like you have an MD and then
Right,
you,
you can
specialize in
prescribe drugs.
psychiatry.
Mhm.
Or
Yeah.
like psychologists or counselors are basically people who have like degrees in psychology and then get like a master's and then they like do. But like
Gotcha.
counseling versus psychiatry, like they often use the same method. So
Yeah.
either way. So yeah, I think that his life was really fucked up growing up. So he just never was able to like like one of the crazier conversations I've had since my mom passed was basically like talking to my dad and being like, why didn't you just get divorced? Like, you were so unhappy. Like, instead of like working all the time and avoiding your family, you could have just like addressed it. And he's like, yeah, I could have done a lot of things differently. And you're just like, all right. And it's just, that's one of those things where it's like, as you get older and you see your parents for who they are, you kind of come to those realizations. And like, it's not like his fault because he grew up with even less. You know what I mean? Like, his father was a brutal, like fucking abusive guy. So it's just like he learned to just bring it inside and avoid it. And that was his whole way of dealing with it. And maybe he can help addicts like with their thing because he got trained in that. But it didn't help him like impart emotional wisdom to us as children. You know, we had to like figure that out on our own, which is great because now I can have honest conversations with them and be like, hey.
Which is cool. I mean,
yeah, no, for sure. Better late than never. You know, absolutely. And we've had some amazing, you know, honest conversations that are very strange. And, you know, I never imagined I would ever have with him. But, you know, it's good.
He still doesn't listen to this podcast?
I don't know. I don't think
All
so.
Planet Money.
Oh, yeah. He just listens to Stereolab.
Stereolab?
I don't know. Sure. Probably.
Do you guys, so you do have a lot of deep conversations? It's not an issue that you have walls between you or anything? That's never been like an issue?
No, it's an issue, but he's, as I've gone to therapy, right, for many years, and I've done meditation, and I've wanted to understand myself more, so I've been more confronting with him and be like, what about this, Dad? What do you like? Why did it go this way?
Yep.
Like, why couldn't we have like had this conversation 20 years ago? But it's just like, it's to some extent like understanding why things happened is just really the big part. Like, you can't undo the past, right? So you just be like, all right, you know, like, do you know why you did this? You know, but at the end, you can't undo it. So
is he defensive about it?
No, he's pretty non-judgmental.
Yeah,
you know?
it's funny.
Like,
At Christmas, my whole family was there, and my sister was. We were talking about growing up. My sister mentioned how I would.
You mean Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, uh-oh.
So my sister mentioned
when is this airing?
I was like a kind of a crazy little kid, and I was constantly yelling and screaming and swearing all the time. I would swear all the time, just like really adult swears all the time. But my people in my house were fighting a lot. My parents were in the middle of getting divorced, which I didn't know. They got divorced when I was 7, so they were fighting a lot. My siblings were fighting with each other. They were fighting with my parents. So I was kind of just reflecting what I
like
saw.
a product of that chaos.
So they're kind of like making fun of me when we're like watching a movie or something, how I was this like crazy kid, and I was kind of like, I was just mimicking what I saw, you know. I was 5, 6 years old, you know. And they didn't really talk about it. And later my dad's like, Colin, I'm really sorry that you had to see all that fighting all the time. And it was this like really like heartfelt thing for him where he was apologizing, and I'm like, that's like 30 years ago. I was a little kid. Like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I turned out all right. I didn't need an apology. It's okay. But it was interesting seeing like he may have never even have thought of that before. Put those two things together, you know?
Yeah. It is funny how our parents hold on. Like, my dad, like, to this day regrets not sending me to Kingswood Oxford, like, private school, because he's like, you could have really turned out to be like such an academically gifted student or whatever. And I was like very hesitant because I didn't want to like leave my friends and like all the people I knew. And I was like, I don't want to go. And he kind of like relented. And it was just like, it's fine, Dad. Like, it all worked out okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I go into private school, I probably would have like gotten into cocaine or something terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's fine. Yeah. I'd be even more pretentious. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think as the generations go on, like our parents, shit, they didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they were sort of going off of what their parents were doing, which is worse than what they were doing. I mean, and now here we are. You know, Colin has a baby.
Do parents know what they're doing?
No, but
now?
I'm saying, and we
they brought their
still barely even know. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying we still barely even know what we're doing, parenting our children, and yet at the same time, we are still trying not to be like our parents unless they were some like angels, and even then, it's like, you know,
and if your parents were angels, I want to have you on this podcast.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
dig through that bullshit.
Right. I don't know. My parents, I feel like there's like, as if they don't even remember. I don't even think they have any recollection of what they did with my sister and I when we were from like 0 to 10.
You know, that's actually, when I talk to my dad, he really doesn't remember
like,
a lot
I
of it.
legit think it was
the
a
idea
blur.
Of, like, confronting him about anything, I'm just like, why would I do this to a person?
Right, like, does he even remember the details? And like, you know, and there was no evidence about what you did around your kids that was going to then end up leading to such things. Like, there was nothing like that. You know, now I feel like we just have such a different encyclopedia, so to speak, of like, okay, well, here's what happens when you yell in front of your kids at even 2 years old, or here's what happens when you're, smoking in front of your kids, or here's what's happened when you're drinking all the time, or if you don't,
give your kids special
so it's
K.
just, yeah.
They go also the K-hole, and they talk to God.
All the K-hole. I don't know. Well, I still appreciate you talking about it. I think it's very important.
Yeah.
I think, depression is real. I also, I've heard, whether this is real or not, that, depression and all of these sort of mental health issues are coming from, our families in the past and our genes sort of just,
trauma.
yeah. So, I mean, you talk about my grandmother, for crying out loud. She was born in 1920. She's 100 now. I mean,
grew up in the Depression, dear.
That's some trauma right there. I mean, stuff that you don't even realize that they are harboring and they're taking on, and then they're having 4 kids, and then those kids are having kids. I mean, it's just,
God, wear a condom, people. Jeez, you could solve this whole problem.
Condoms even still don't prevent pregnancies.
Didn't have them back then.
But yeah,
Red
didn't have them, right. Condoms was not
Fools.
a thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not what your priest would allow either, so.
But I don't know. I think it's important to talk about it. And,
for sure.
Now in 2020, so to speak,
but I think it's
everybody will
great
be talking about it more.
Because it's like, for me, like, one of the big revelations from therapy was like understanding that, like, so what happened with my family is we were not very like warm or affectionate, right? So even to this day, like, you're a big hugger, right?
I am.
And you might notice I'm not a huge hugger, right?
But I actually don't like hug my family, which is weird.
Okay. But like, some people are more affectionate.
Like, I do, but I'm like not really.
Do they not hug?
We hug upon greeting and goodbye, but they're not like, if I were sitting next to my sister, I don't think we would be like hugging or rubbing each other, or like even my mom and dad.
Sounds like completely normal behavior.
Yeah,
why would you be rubbing and hugging each other?
No, I'm just saying, like, not very affectionate necessarily with my family, as opposed to like my friends. And like, I don't know, there's certain people that, like, if they're right next to me, I want to get them right next to me and I want to cuddle up next to them. But with my family, it's just it's very different.
Yeah. But I think, so for me, one of the revelations was like realizing, so like, we didn't have a lot of physical affection growing up, so I feel a little distant from people sometimes. And I think a lot of that is just both my parents were from abusive households, so they didn't know how to be warm or affectionate. They had no way of doing that. And so in my brain, it was just like this whole, and they were both like overweight and insecure, so that got passed on to me. So my whole life, I had this whole idea of who I was. I was this sort of like insecure person, maybe, I don't know, either undeserving or love or unworthy, or just like, I don't know, like, I just didn't expect it, and it's fine, right? Some people just are alone, and that's okay. You know what I mean? And then many, many years later, thanks to therapy, I'm like, oh, that's just like what they kept telling themselves and what they told me, but it's not who I am. It's just like a thing. Like, it's generational trauma that they never went through. They didn't know how to deal with it, and so they pass it on. And so now I'm like, oh, what's wrong with me? Nothing really.
No,
it's just a matter of like, I didn't, they didn't know any better.
Although to them too, it's probably since they were abused.
Right, exactly.
The touch was abused.
Yeah.
So therefore, they're like, you know what? We're just not even gonna touch our kids because it was so used wrong that like maybe now it's hard
to them,
even,
it's an aversion. Like, it's actually a fear.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
it's hard for them to actually take that step and be like, oh no, I want to hug you, instead of maybe this will lead to like me wanting to fucking strangle your neck.
Yeah. And so my mom always did this thing where she would be super critical, and she'd be like, yeah, that was good, but you could be so much better, and like always criticize you, because her life was so fucked up that like she wanted her family to be perfect. And because we were just regular humans, we couldn't be perfect, Yeah. And she just could never square those things away. And it's like, it's not her fault. It's just one of those things, Right. So you like, as you get older, you're like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not like, and I'm the same way where like, like if I'll be with friends and they're like, oh, let's play this game. I'm like, that thing sucks. They're like, why are you so critical? And it's like, because of generational trauma. Like, I don't know what to say about it, It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My other ear just came in. It's weird.
You can still improve though. Stop being so negative.
I fully agree. I'm working on it.
I mean, I think if you know what you're talking about in that sense, and you already have played the game or whatever the case may be, and you don't like it.
So yeah, generational trauma. I think that's what it is. For me, it's not actually like a genetic thing. It's like the sins of our grandparents getting passed down to us through like child rearing,
and not even necessarily sins. Like some of them are not.
Yeah, I'm being like metaphorical.
But it's the things that have happened that people are still trying to understand it. Yeah. I mean, we're all, I mean, look at, we're still figuring it out.
I'm good. Yeah. I got keys. Come on in.
Okay. So a couple of software questions, just like to really throw it out there.
Wow. Yeah. You want to make this podcast much worse?
No, better.
Are you just delivering
What
near beers to
Microsoft-
people now?
what-
This is like, what service in here? Eamon's going above and beyond.
yeah.
If you
That's it,
were
Raise.
a Microsoft Office product,
Love
which would you be?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which would you be?
Boy,
If you were Clippy,
oh man, I would say
Is it just the four main ones?
I am Excel.
What?
it's just the four main
I'd say
ones
any
we're
of
talking
them.
about, right?
No,
What,
I
you wanna
say
be
any. Of
Vizio?
it.
Project.
I think any, because
Any
you
of 'em,
probably
yeah.
know more than I even know. But these are just,
And just to be clear, what you even know is
it's like
nothing.
super
Yeah.
exactly 100% nothing, which is why I put just Microsoft Office. So like
Yeah.
you get as specific as you want.
I would say Excel, where like somewhat easy to use, understand, but there's definitely hidden powers there that you're not aware of or able to use.
Wow.
Oh. Okay.
Just because the sexy answer I could think of. Or just Word. Just type into me and I will regurgitate back to you with slightly bolder, sexier. I don't know.
No, I like the original.
Cool.
I like the Excel.
Word.
Do you
There's
think-
other options,
do you
but you're
think-
used to me.
Do you think Gandhi would be a good software developer?
I don't know. I heard he was like a dick.
That's what you hear about most people.
What?
Mother Teresa, she did terrible things. Like, you hear
Yeah.
about
I
that
heard
about
somebody
most
told me
people.
Gandhi was like racist or something like that. I don't
Really?
know. Yeah. That's what I heard recently. I'm not like I don't know a lot about that whole situation with the Indian subcontinent and you know. I know that it was a former British colony like everywhere, but and he helped get rid of them through quote unquote peaceful, but he may well have had his own demons. I heard he was like racist or something. There's a lot of that in a lot of those countries where like there's like a lot of the caste system is really sort of a codified racism, you know. So I dated a Pakistani lady and she was telling me that like she came from a very upper class family and they came here and I was like, oh, like how do you even know like what class somebody's from? She's like, a lot of it is just we're light skinned.
Oh, you know.
Not. Yeah, right. But she was like, you do know. She's like, if you think America's bad, like just there are other countries where that shit is all built in. Like you'd be, you know, here it's all like systemic racism is real, but it's also like sort of a undercurrent almost. You know what I mean? It's not technically illegal.
My sister went to a friend of hers wedding in India, and she came back, and she was like, you know, the caste system, it's not bad like the way people describe it. Actually, it's more just a way of blah 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 blah. I'm like, wow, you were totally indoctrinated in the 1 week here in India. It's a terrible thing.
That's when people are like, oh, you never went to Birthright, which first of all, I didn't even know I could until it was way too late. But second of all, I'm like, do I really want to be part of like an Israeli recruitment trip? You know, like they do some fucked up shit over there.
Is it a recruitment trip? Is
To
that
some
the
extent,
point
yeah.
of it?
I think a lot of it is to get you to impregnate Jewish ladies and make more Jews is really the big. They would just want you to all hook up and stay Jewy. That's a lot of
That's
it.
probably right to a large degree. Yeah.
So,
Huh.
because there's not a lot of Jewish people in the world
Right.
in comparison. So there were. I don't know
To
if you
Christians?
guys heard compared to most,
anybody.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. There's like only
To
I don't know
people that
25
live in
million
New
or
York.
something.
Yeah,
like that.
it's not a lot.
Oh, even if you're non-religious, you just mean in general. There's
Yeah,
really
the
just not a
whole-
lot of Jews around.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So, yeah.
It's
so I
funny.
think,
We have a skewed perspective of how many Jewish people there are just living near New
Yeah.
York and in the Northeast.
Well,
Like
yeah, I
Shelley,
think-
when she moved up here, she was like, I never met a Jewish person before. It's like from
Yeah.
growing up in
Right,
Tennessee.
well, I guess probably just the city density and just in general, like just population, where you want to live.
Yeah, Connecticut is definitely one of the like top 5 in America, and America is like it's like the third highest. Like it's like Israel.
Of Jewish
Yeah,
population.
it's like Israel, like America, and then like France or something. Like and then nothing.
Wow.
Jews don't live anywhere else. Yeah,
I mean, wouldn't you want to go to Israel anyway?
I'll get there at some point probably.
So your
Yeah.
dad is Jewish,
Yeah,
and your mom is what, Catholic, or what did she?
she was vaguely Christian, just Protestant. You know,
Protestant.
We went to like a
That's very.
Protestant.
That's very.
Yeah.
That's very.
She
upper,
was
Northwest
raised-
Connecticut.
Well, she was raised Baptist and she hated the church. So she basically like we went to church, but she had such weird feelings about it. She believed in Jesus. So
Yeah.
oh.
But so does your dad.
No, my dad doesn't believe in. None of us. We're all atheists.
Although he's not. Oh, so he's not a
Basically.
practicing Jew.
No, but I mean, he does the cultural stuff. A lot of Jewish people don't really.
Well, then he
have
must still believe in
beliefs.
something.
No,
Oh,
a lot of Jewish people. Judaism is very
it's kind
cultural.
of part of the Jewish tradition in a large way, though.
Yeah, it's not that like there are some super steadfast Jews, but a lot of them are really just like they do Seder, they do Passover, they do like Yom Kippur, but they're really just hanging out. Like they don't believe in any of it, but it's just like
The
it's a culture.
community.
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
I feel like
So-
the questioning
I
is
can get
kind of
behind
built into
that.
Judaism in a way that it's not with.
Yeah, it's a more
With
intellectualized.
Catholicism,
like, yeah.
or-
Like I actually there was this girl in OkCupid from like Mass who was like, you should like become a Jew. And I was like, why? Like, I'm an atheist. She's like, that's fine, actually. You can intellectualize, be like a Jewish atheist. I'm like, what are you talking about here? I was like, this is the weirdest sex chat.
Was that her? Was that her to like get?
No, she was just trying to recruit me to.
Better...
I don't know.
I thought you were saying
prospect?
A couple of years ago you wanted to get a little more Jewish.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but then I just did more comedy instead. And that's kind of like
you leaned back.
Yeah, it is cool. Actually, like Becca and I have talked about going and hitting up some like Jewish. Well, she was like single at the time. Mm-hmm. We talked about like doing the Jewish singles.
Oh, so
mixers.
now it's out because it's not romantic.
Well, no, because it was just like we both
said
like
what he said. And
yeah, I don't know. It was an incentive, you know. I like Jewish ladies. Meet a nice, cute Jewish girl. I don't know. So it seemed like a good idea at the time. We never did it though. So I have a menorah.
That means nothing to me after this conversation.
Oh yeah.
Are you offended?
No, like he's an atheist. I'm not offended. I don't see a point now.
But
he's got a Christmas tree.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, I don't really see the point of that either.
It's all just.
Although I feel like the Christmas tree is
in a religion.
I feel like the Christmas thing is really for your mom.
Yeah, but I like.
So like that's.
I
think that has.
Lights.
It's more than just the religion.
But also, like we did Hanukkah growing up. Like we had that. So like that was like the one Jewish thing we did. So I buy matzah once a year, cover it in butter, and then eat it. That's my Judaism.
I think the Christmas tree. It's like it's the holiday time. Bring a tree inside. It's just like a fun, goofy thing to do.
No, I mean I love the tree,
yeah.
but I just for an atheist, half Protestant, half Jew.
Yeah, it's fine.
Do you light the menorah?
Yeah, I haven't said the prayer last year.
Wow.
I know. Which was in like Yiddish. I don't know. I was like, what am I doing? This doesn't matter at all.
And you still know it?
No, I look it up at a book. Yeah.
But you can read it.
Yeah. They phonetically spell it for you. Yeah.
Oh.
They know.
Wow.
They know. Yeah. No, I don't know. I did it.
I mean, there's something to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's because you have a house now and you feel more of a traditionalist.
I just felt like if I'm going to get the Christmas tree and I'm going to do the Christian thing, I may as well do I definitely feel more... I don't know. I feel like I have more Jewish qualities than Christian qualities in like that I feel more of the Jewish stereotypes than the Jewish stereotypes of being like sort of a, liberal, neurotic, head case Jewy guy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I'm more like my father than my mother for sure. So I don't know. And I look fucking Jewy as hell. So my last name's Levinson. So whether I think I'm Jewish or not,
it is.
the world is very...
Society has passed judgment.
Yeah, the society has decided, like, people going to temple? I'm like, nah, pass.
But you'll light a menorah and say the Yiddish prayers.
And the best gift I ever got was from my mom. It was a leather jacket when I was 16 years old. And I hated the gift when I first got it because I just wanted toys and not jackets. And that jacket stayed with me all through high school and was awesome.
Wow.
It made me real badass. Not true, but I thought I was.
You still have it?
No, I think I actually gave it to my dad once. No, this just got old. It was like pretty old. And when I lost weight, all my old shit didn't fit anymore. So I gave some of it to my dad. He still has one of my old leather jackets.
That's cool.
So yep, pretty cool.
From a sport?
What?
A leather jacket from a sport?
Leather.
Oh, I was like,
yeah, leather. Yeah, what sport?
I'm like, what sport are we talking?
I lettered in World of Warcraft. I was a
WoW
varsity
champ.
Squad. Yeah.
WoW champ all in high school.
Exactly.
My dad still got my leather jacket.
All state and being a druid.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you?
By human standards?
By your standards.
By my standards. 2. No, I don't know.
Out of 10, Josh?
No, it was a joke. I would say I'm like a 6.5. So
really?
Oh, so see, you scale 6.5 there, but just not in like regular attractive standards.
You don't strike me as that weird. You seem pretty normy.
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty normy. I don't know. It depends. Yeah, I guess I'm normalish. I don't know. I do. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how weird are you with your sexual predilections?
Oh man, that really depends.
So
I think
is it higher than 6.5?
My peaks are, I would say. There are times where I feel experimental and I will do things that are rather strange, I would say, but it's not something I engage in on a regular basis. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So like there'll be things where I'm up for it, maybe once a month. I'm like, yeah, let's get fucking weird. But like it's not something
once a month. I mean, that's 12 times a year.
But that was if I had like a regular partner, right? Like I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the right, and maybe every other month. I'm not sure. Quarterly.
Okay.
I have no.
Okay.
Let's see what it shows here. The quarterly reports.
Yeah.
No, I just think it's one of those things where like I enjoy being experimental at times, but it's not something I seek all the time. Like I enjoy regular sex with someone I like pretty good, and I find that pretty satisfying. So I don't need a lot of extra stuff, but once in a while, it's like fun to just see where the levels are, and yeah. I don't know.
Pepsi or Coke?
Pepsi either is fine. I'm indifferent. When I go places, I order a Diet Cola, and that's.
Did you say cola?
Yeah.
Nice. You don't even want to hear that one of them isn't there.
Exactly. I don't even want them to be like, "Is Pepsi okay?" Yeah, Pepsi's fine. I give no fucks about it. It's fine. Yeah, they're both fine.
That's nice.
Yeah, I have no brand loyalty to these corporate, unless they want to sponsor this podcast. In which case, go Pepsi.
Oh my
Come
god!
on, Diet Cola.
Go Foxen Park. I got corrected there, and I said Foxon, and Dan's like, "Whoa, it's Foxen."
It's true.
He's like, "That's the one thing
from
East
here or
Haven
not?
person can correct somebody from." I was like, "Cool." So,
name another purpose for a number 2 pencil.
another purpose for another number 2
Besides
pencil.
writing.
Fun mustache.
I think it's a good time to point out that Shaina came here with her own pen. Usually someone has like a TD Bank pen. She's got a pen from the DMV.
No. I got this from Eamon, our studio producer.
Eamon walks around with a pen from the DMV.
Right. I did not bring my own pen.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. I mean, the clip is torn off.
Yeah, putting it above your upper lip and giving yourself a nice little mustache. That's a pretty good use, I'd say. Yeah.
Do you know why manholes are round?
I just feel no, I don't know.
So they don't fall in, bro. Come on, aren't you supposed to be like a math guy?
But why would that be any different than a square or whatever?
Because you can turn a square and it'll fall in. If you turn it corner to corner, you can drop a square right in there.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, yeah, geometry was
Colin
always my weak
knows.
point. Yeah,
Colin knows.
fucking geometry.
Pay
Man.
attention in class. You haven't been to class all semester, and the finals tomorrow.
Oh my gosh.
Yikes!
I don't know why manholes are round.
Well,
I mean,
you
I
do
didn't
know.
really think about it. Yeah. These
make
just
sense.
random questions I write down.
Yeah.
So, any further thought on your spirit animal?
Oh boy.
I mean, I'm getting like total sloth vibes, and not to be rude. I'm like actually totally getting sloth vibes.
Is it just from my
that's great.
posture?
I think it's like a combo, like maybe this like religion talk too. I'm just getting like lazy sloth vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's not
I got into it, but then I pulled back. I'm not religious.
Yeah, we can say sloth is pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
still
think
pretty
that is
cute
good.
though. Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, they're very cute.
Yeah. Perfect.
I guess sometimes
I don't
they
think
can
they're
be
as cute as
funny.
people
They have
think.
their not as cute as
When
koalas
I
for
look at
sure.
a sloth, I'm like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
Their nails are terrifying.
not as cute as koalas.
One
for
of the
sure,
best
but-
jokes ever, speaking of Mitch Hedberg saying that a koala will be the cutest infestation. It's like you turn on the lights and all the koalas scatter. Is like, no, don't go away. Come close to me. Here, I've given you a leaf.
I actually still think that would be terrifying if I turn on the light and all of a
There's
sudden
a bunch
there's
of
like
koalas
100
scattered. Yeah, for
koalas
A
sure.
just
bunch
like
of anything being there is terrifying.
Yeah. Even people.
even
Probably
people.
worst of all.
I think people is actually the scariest. Like, what are you all doing?
What if it was like a bunch of kids? You know what I mean? Like Children of the Corn style. Like, yeah.
Oh, man. Great movie.
Creepy.
Great 3 movies.
Okay, and then other than this, I have like random what I consider, I call it A or B, because you have your own games, but I came up with it's not a
Okay.
game, but it's like A or B, and it's rapid fire.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
First answer that you find passionate, and no questions. It's not like would you rather and like what are the circumstances.
Yeah.
You ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I play 2?
Yeah, you want
I
to?
haven't seen any of them.
No, you haven't. Okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? A or B?
Yeah.
B.
Yeah, you can either you don't have to repeat the thing. You just say A or B. Oh my god.
Sharper. Get your
Ready?
B
You ready?
roundness.
You ready?
Yeah.
Delegna or modern?
Modern.
Mezcal or fresh taco?
Mezcal.
Mezcal, definitely.
McD's or Burger King?
I don't like either one.
Burger King. Impossible Burger.
Red or green?
Green.
Red.
Buzz cut or long hair with a pony?
Yikes.
Buzz cut.
Oh boy. None of the above. I guess buzz cut. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Meat or alcohol?
Oof, real Sophie's choice here.
I would say meat because it won't make me as sad.
I think I'd choose alcohol.
Okay. Biking or walking?
Biking, always.
Walking's pretty fundamental.
Toyota, Honda?
Toyota?
Yeah, I guess.
They're both so reliable.
Yeah. I guess the Prius is more of a game changer overall, so.
Deep
Toyota.
end or shallow end?
Deep. Dive in there.
Go Shallow. That's where you hang out, man. Shallow's where you hang out.
Yeah, but you can't do cannonballs.
That's true. I like both.
Bathing shorts or a Speedo?
Bathing shorts.
Trunks, please.
Or whatever. Trunks, yeah. Blah, blah, blah.
I'll do trunks. Yeah.
Flip flops or the cross Adidas sandals, like the full crossover instead of a thing in
Flip-flops.
between your toes.
Flip flops. I like that thong.
Okay.
Yeah. get
Jeans
in
or
there.
sweatpants?
Jeans.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. It depends where. Here, jeans. Home, sweatpants forever.
I feel like Josh is totally
Out of the
sweatpants
club,
forever.
sweatpants.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I could wear pajama pants all the time,
Right.
I would. Like, I am one step away from being that guy who, like, wanders around with dreadlocks downtown in pajamas. You know what I'm talking about?
Oof, let's not do that right
Okay,
now.
sorry.
Sneakers or hiking shoes?
I mean, sneakers. If I'm hiking shoes are great.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference.
Otherwise,
Depends on the
sneakers,
context there.
yeah. If I'm sneaking,
No, there's no context.
if I'm sneaking,
Just
also
quick.
hiking
Yeah.
boots. Just like the support, you know?
Apples, oranges,
Apples.
Apples.
Barcade or Elm City Games?
Oh, man.
I
I go to Barcade more because it's more casual. But,
I've never really hung out at Elm City
but I
Games.
actually love the owners of Elm City Games, so it's hard
What's
to...
your choice? I didn't understand.
I'll do
I tried to hedge
Barcade.
my bets. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
good
guess
luck.
Elm City Games. yeah.
Answer. Thanks.
I'll go hang out at Barcade with Matt Fantastic.
Okay. No, he's I think at Elm City Games. I don't think Matt is at
That's the
Barcade
idea.
anymore.
He
Yeah.
also tried to hedge his bets.
Oh, okay.
Tried to
I see
cheat.
what you did there.
Yeah.
Okay. M Activity, Gym, or District? I don't know what District is called now.
Never been to either.
Yeah,
Oh,
I guess my
okay.
activity because they have like singles mixers and they do like a community based thing, which I find
Yeah.
hilarious. So
Okay.
and cool. I
It
guess.
seems nice. People that go
Yeah.
there love it.
Yeah, I don't live near either, so I just don't. I go to the
Yeah.
edge.
I'm a Planet Fitness guy.
Oh,
All right. Pepe's or Sally's?
Peppies.
I don't know. I might say Sally's at this point.
Just because he said Pepe's?
No, I don't know. They're both. That's a toughie.
Okay.
Sally's,
and
I guess. Yeah.
last one.
Mhm.
Handwritten or typed?
Typed every day.
Typed all the way.
If I can never handwrite anything again,
Especially
it'll
if it's
be fun.
cursive. I just can't really read it well. I can't write it for sure, and I
Or
can barely read
cursive
it.
scratch like mine.
Mhm.
But, I can read it. That's all that matters. And then I don't know if we have much more time because, here we are.
Yeah, we're like an hour and 16, so I don't know what we're gonna do here. Not quite enough for two.
Oh,
Too much for one.
gotta stretch it now.
Gotta dump another 40 minutes in this game.
I liked
No, we
it.
don't have to. We can.
I could
just-
keep
we can
talking
stop
forever.
whenever. Yeah.
I
we don't
keep,
have to do
keep
that,
learning about you. Right, which we won't.
Yeah.
But I feel like once I re-listen to this,
yeah.
I'll have probably just enough to be able to get into a third.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can finally tell me all my spirit.
Go back and,
This
you're a
was good.
sloth
This
for
was
was
it
the-
sure.
a
This was the
Spirit-
serious podcast.
Wasn't it like spirit, physics, law of thermodynamics? Wasn't that one of them? My spirit,
It
law of
was,
thermodynamics.
Yeah, I think something.
And
Yeah,
I
it was
said like inertia.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is sloth. If one of the laws of thermodynamics was an animal, it will be a sloth.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Bam.
True.
Perfect.
Which you nailed.
Yeah.
You're a sloth for sure.
Yeah. So this has been good. I thought. You
Yeah.
know, it was fun.
It was cathartic. Did it feel like a therapy session?
No, it was just good to because it is interesting because I joke around a lot, but I do have beliefs about the world. I guess so. I don't talk about them a lot just because I try to be funny all the time. So I'm
Right.
like, no, think of a joke, Josh. Don't be insightful.
Yeah,
No one wants to hear that.
That's weird. I don't know what that's like.
They
Yeah.
won't like you. Just be funny, dance monkey.
Yeah, if we want your jokes, we go to the shows.
So, yeah, it was fun. Thank you for coming on and doing this. Appreciate
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
thanks for having me. Thanks
Yeah,
for,
no problem.
Colin
So-
can say thank you himself, but yeah, I like it.
I didn't say
like,
thanks to anybody.
Right, exactly.
Don't put thanks in my mouth.
Yeah, yeah. Don't
Maybe
put
we'll
things
do
in
this
my
as
mouth.
maybe we'll do like the
How
last 20
dare
as
you.
like bonus content or something. We'll figure out something.
Yeah.
Patreon subscribers only. We
That's
do not
right.
have Patreon set up, but it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Well, thanks.
is a
Yeah,
blast.
thanks for coming on our show.
Good idea. Good job spearheading this, Shaina.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. My handwritten
Mhm.
5 pages of notes, mind you.
Yeah. I was very worried when you wouldn't let me see the questions, but it worked out nicely.
I don't think you
Yeah.
should see that as the interviewee. I just don't.
Sometimes it helps. I think I can fly off the cuff, but some
do you
people
think,
are not.
What do you think? How do you think these questions would have helped you to know them in advance? Seriously.
Well, I think if it's more heartfelt stuff, I guess it doesn't. But when it's just like, I don't know, it gives time people to prepare and like think what they're going to say. Especially not everybody's good on microphones. So some of these people are like pretty new to being in interviewed, right? So
Right, but we're interviewing you.
yeah, that's true. So yeah,
I reached
guess
out to all of your ex-girlfriends as surprise guests, and none would show.
Yeah.
So
Yikes!
not a one.
Not even Danielle.
Not a one.
Sucks. I mean, honestly, it's probably better off. I mean, I wouldn't want any of my exes coming on this show.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just joking. They all said yes. All right.
Here they
swing
are.
that door open.
And your first surprise
The
guest.
most bonus material you could ever
Oh my
have.
god! You gotta fast forward to an hour and 40 minutes into
Biggest
this podcast.
bonus of your
It's
lives.
Insane. Cool. All right.
Cool. All
That's
right.
it.
Well, everybody enjoy your week.
Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time
Yeah.
on the Between Two Rocks podcast.
Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fat up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with 2 rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between 2 rocks. Ba-da-da-da, 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 between 2 rocks.